Reshma, sound under correct.
Hey, hey all. Good morning on Saturday day. Welcome to Innovation Tech Community's AI Summit. That's Microsoft AI Summit 2025, which is happening all live. We will be going live with our renowned speaker, an amazing speaker, Sujit Kumar, who would be taking over the stage now. And he's an MCT with a great experience on AI. So, Sujit, over to you. Please take over the stage.
Thank you, Link. Congrats, Denny. I think welcome back. Whoever is watching live and whoever is watching the recordings. Before I start, let me tell you, I know something about you, and I went through similar situation multiple times. See, a lot of our members, whoever is watching now, you might be working in an organization and your role will be different. You will be interacting with your customer, different situation. Let me tell you a story. I recently had a problem. And this session, I really wanted to make something not only related to technology. I just want to tell experience what I had, and probably that will help others to tackle their situations in future. So what happened is one of my friend, I can say like that, but he's a CIO, and we were trying to sell something to him. Usually, our usual mechanism is we'll do some presentation, and we were talking about him, this is what we can do. He told, tell me a story. See, listen, Sujit, I met one vendor. They come to my organization and they asked me, what is your requirement on this specific area? They sat with us 3 days. Then within 3 days, they made an application. Oh, are you able to do the same thing? I was literally pissed off. Oh my God. I was thinking, can I do it? Then I realized it's an opportunity. If I do it for my case study, which I'm going to sell for him, probably I'll get an order. I said, yes, I can do it. Then after some time, I realized one more thing. If I do, just not do, I do it better, probably I'll get more business from him. So this is how things are happening in market. Selling has a different dimension now. And I went there, able to collect his requirement, able to deliver it. How? The situations in market, the product which is available in market, it's all are actually in this kind of scenarios nowadays. You can do things very quickly. Whether you work for one organization, another organization, or you are working one technology versus other technology, always in all technology, things are making easier for the business. And whoever is dealing with that technology, we are getting different opportunity how to make things more quicker and faster and easy for the deliverables. So we are going to talk such things today. Having said that, my name is Sujit. I'm working as an architect in CGI, and I am already part of LinkedIn, as you guys know. One thing I want to tell, okay, it's only 10 more members to meet the 2000 milestone. So hope if I deliver properly, just like the CEO offer, if I deliver properly this session, I could get the 10 more members to connect, and we can have creative discussions in our LinkedIn space. Okay, who wanted to connect to me, you can actually scan this code and connect. All right. Now, I'm in a situation. Somebody is asking me, Sujit, can you fill this? And especially when you're going to bank or going to insurance company, going to school, wherever you go nowadays, people are asking, can you fill this for me? The forms, even though we are in this century, filling forms, it's one of the common pain points, whether the customer or an organization who is collecting this form, both are having similar problems. It's continuously as a problem. And it's one of the major impact, one of the main components in any organization which is dealing with these forms. We have call centers, you have mail options, and everything is there, but still, ultimately, it is connected to some content what customer is sending. That is the way we are communicating to the customers nowadays. Not nowadays, even last 100 years, probably we can say that is the way we are communicating to customers. So, if you look at anywhere, this is one of the common problem. So the thing for the first pain point which I mentioned, as the CIO asked me to do things very quickly. Second point, what we're talking about in an organization, anywhere if you go, dealing with these forms, dealing with their content, what customer is sending, this is a very common pain point across any organization. So with that said, what is actually helping us to deal with this? Coming back to my same situation, how did I manage able to that? How did I be able to manage that 3 days exercise? Can do a quick demo according to their requirement. This is one of the environment which helped me. Obviously, I am more aligned with Microsoft technology. So I'm looking at what is there in Microsoft technology which will help me to deal with this kind of situation. So Power Platform, it's one of the environment which is called no-code, low-code environment from Microsoft, which is helping me to deal that challenge from that CEO to make the quick demo or app within 1 or 2 days as per his requirement and deal with this. Second one, the common problem which we are talking about, the data, the files, the forms, text, the content which we are getting from the customer. How do we deal with that for our functionality? As an example, somebody is telling, okay, I want to open an account. If you are in a banking domain, I want to change my first name. I want to change a phone number. We have option whether now we made it online also, but still everywhere it's kind of a filling data collection mechanism. Somewhat, some people has to be there to support this. So you might be knowing that in your organization there will be a lot of changes happen, or in your the client which you are working, there will be a lot of changes happen. They were talking about automation. So that is a buzzword nowadays, right? Automation and AI. So can this technology help us to do things better? If we are able to do it, or some of you guys are already doing it, how do you make it better? And is it really a challenging job to make such kind of automation? We are trying to find out answers for this kind of questions on this session. Let me directly take you an organization where they are getting different PDF or pictures of the members who take this photos of their forms. They're sending to the organization to different channel. It can be they can send a letter just like that, or they can send us an email, or they can fill. Of course, that that client is really having online filling mechanism too, so they can send that way, and they can send through an fax also. So it can be different requirement. I believe I'll be asking, okay, see, I want to change my India address, or I want to cancel my policy. I want to transfer my amount. from one account to another account. I'm looking for a new credit card. It can be anything, any such kind of requirement. So, see, we are dealing with different generations of customers. So everybody might not be tech savvy, right? Some people will still use different old traditional mechanism. So it depends upon the country and depends upon the location where we are dealing with. It will be different of different possibilities of channels. So it can be phone call, fax, email, letter, anything. So let's assume that our customer is our our imaginary customer is getting a lot of such document through different channels, and we have to read that content, understand what is his customer intention, then deal with that in our organization. Now let's coming back to other thing. Okay, customer is filling data, sending it, whatever way it is. His job is done. See, look at the companies who is dealing with this kind of customers. Let's assume take any bank. I believe almost all of you have bank account, at least monthly once, or in a year 2 times, or one time you might call your call center agent or your bank, right? Asking for some reason, maybe some amount got credited, debited, anything can happen, depends upon your luck. Okay, so you may be asking for it, the reason why it happened. Just an inquiry. If it's a telecom, definitely you might be called minimum 1 or 2 times. So this is very common, right? So let's assume that how many customers for this kind of organization has. Let's take any XYZ bank. They have thousands of customers. Assume that they are getting calls from that customers. How do they manage? They need members to help or take these informations to support this, whatever input they are getting. Right? If whether it's a document, when they're sending us a document, when they're sending us an email, when they're sending us word fax, or when they're really calling, okay, dealing with the call center agent, fine. But let's assume that if they are sending as in even once you're asking some specific cases, we need definitely required some organization, definitely required documents for the auditing purpose, the complaints purpose, all those things. So if assume that you are getting 10,000 documents, 10,000, or maybe let's assume reduce a small number also, 1,000 documents in a month. If 1,000 document in a month, at least you will be getting around 50 or 40 average documents in a day. So if you are getting this many documents, either different channel, you need somebody to read this document, understand what they have written, what is this document for, and put it into your system and deal with that system. Say that what they need to do. So an example, there somebody is asking me a simple scenario, change my government ID, some number, or maybe a simple example like change my address. That is a straightforward. Even though we have self-serve process, but still if we get a documentation saying that this is my old address, this is my new address, this is my signature saying that, yeah, please change it. I got the document. Now, see, I have to type this information in my system. That's the first thing. I got such kind of requirement. Second thing is, after I put that information in my system to change this, I might have a different system, right? In fact, it's if a telecom bank, it's not like only one system is dealing everything. So you have a different system to support your entire infrastructure for your entire domain, right? So wherever I want to change the address, I need to go to that system and update these changes and inform back this customer saying that I did the changes. So it's a very straightforward use case. I have to read the content, what is the customer is written, take that information, fill into my system, or keep a record of the system. If you have a CRM system, something like that, you have to keep a record. Okay, I got this kind of request from this customer. Definitely you need to have a record because it's an auditing purpose. Who changed my address? After 6 months, the customer saying that, oh, somebody changed my address. I don't even know that who changed it, from where it came. All those things, question can come. So definitely we need to have a record for that. okay, I got this input, I got this request on this day, this time from this person, and this is the document. All those things we have to record. So I need to scan this document. It's a physical document. Definitely, I need to scan it. If it is okay coming through fax, of course, I have an electronic version of it. I can upload it. But this kind of activity is actually really time consuming. And if an organization, if I'm keeping this kind of members to work on such things, I am putting a lot of money for this, right? So can technology help us to do this kind of activity? Of course, there are a lot of automation tools available in market. You take automation means there are a lot of tools available. There are a lot of tools available which can read content from different channels. So what we are going to talk about, a couple of such tools which is part of Microsoft, which you can utilize, and you can challenge your customer saying that you can do it very quickly, and you can deal with them, and you can get the deal. Okay, so this all will help us. So this is one of the architecture. Let's assume generally most of the organization have this kind of architecture, especially if it is a little bigger, better than, or maybe medium or higher version of organization, you can see this kind of architecture. There will be a lot of internal applications sitting on their on-premise environment. There will be they just move to cloud also, some application sitting on cloud. So this is one combination, possibly most possible combination. I took it. So let's assume that in left side, what you see on-premise, all are the application which is happening, which is actually hosted on their on-premise environment. Right side, their cloud stuff. And here in cloud, we are adding a couple of items which we really require to handle such kind of info, such kind of data handling. Okay, so right corner you see two user screen, you mean user icons. So that's what we are using. So as a customer, one user icon is that nothing is the customer sending in the documents to us in different channels. Second user is nothing who's handling this document, right? So how do we actually reconstruct or reorganize this entire process using the technology what we have? So let's assume that we are collecting these documents, emails, fax, everything in one of specific location, right? Either it can email will automatically come to email box. Fax also can connect to email boxes, and somebody is sending document, so you can drop that document into your drives. It can be anything: OneDrive, SharePoint drive, or your Azure storage. Anything you can put it. Here's for an example, I put OneDrive. Right? The documents are coming on the system. Now, what is next? So as I mentioned, anything which we wanted to do quickly, one of the tool which is always helping us is Power Platform. In Power Platform, we had a tool called Power Automate. So that basically, in case if you wanted to run any kind of automation behind the scene, or any automation to make your organization's flow properly, one of the greatest tool which from Microsoft is Power Automate, and it has a desktop version called Power Automate Desktop, specifically desktop version used for RPA process. Okay, so if you wanted to open, when I say RPA process, it's straightforward, very simple. If you have an application hosted internally, okay, and you want to talk to that application as if a user is dealing with that application. Just an example, I'm opening an application, putting my user ID, password, logging in, going to a specific menu, filling some information, doing those things. If you want to do this activity, entire manual activity, what I'm doing as a user, as a person, if you want to replicate similarly, you can use RPA processes in a straightforward. And this is a very simple way of explaining what RPA is. There are a lot of other possibilities, but yeah, if you are having such requirements also as part of your automation, you can use Power Automate Desktop. In this scenario, let's assume that we have such scenario too. See, it's not only just document coming in my system and after reaching the document, as per the values of the document, I wanted to do some kind of actions in my systems, whether it is my cloud system, whether it is my on-premise system, whatever it is, I'm doing a lot of activities in my system. If I am dealing manually, I have to do a lot of these activities. So such activities I am want to transfer to a system which will help me to do these kind of things. So Power Automate Desktop will help me to do such kind of actions along with Power Automate. Power Automate, of course, the cloud service, it will not deal with OIs. So, but if you wanted to do some kind of real transaction behind the scene, you can use Power Automate. But if you wanted to, you don't have an APIs and everything, but you still directly deal with this apps, just like manually how somebody is dealing, you can pass that specific task to Power Automate Desktop. So what happened is, in this case, I am getting a document saying that I want to change my customer address. Customer is saying, okay, my address has to change. I read it through. Whenever that document comes in my system, here SharePoint drive, it's coming in. Okay, Power Automate has an inbuilt feature. It can trigger when something is reaching to the SharePoint. It will trigger. Okay, so automation triggered. Now automation triggered, it can read that content. This is the document. Now document I got. How do I read the content of the document? So that is where one more tool as part of our platform, which is going to help AI Builder. So this tool is nothing, it's utilizing AI engine to read the content from the document. It can read. The AI Builder is not only just to read content from the document, it supports different types of AI activities. We can use all those kind of activities as part of AI Builder. It's a wide product. But in our case, let's assume that in our use case, we are using that AI Builder for reading content from forms. So I have to train this AI Builder. Of course, there is some other activity behind the thing to how to make this happen. But in an architecture point of view, I am asking my AI Builder, please read my content from this document. So AI Builder will give me all the content out of this document. Then Power Automate got that response, and Power Automate can do all validations, what response came, and it can identify, okay, this is the customer ID, or maybe it can talk to some other systems to validate this customer ID is right. See, somebody is sending. So I am having an account in HDFC to Axis Bank. If I am sending, I change my address. Will it happen? Will it not work, right? So it has to validate. So some kind of such validations. And even, can we believe AI Builder 100%? That's the question. I will have a demo for that also. So let's assume that AI Builder is not reading some of the content which customer is written. It can be handwritten. It can be real valid content where AI Builder can easily read. So some items, if it is not able to read properly, or some mistakes have been done, we want to do evaluation. Those all evaluations, everything you can connect to Power Automate as a system, which will help you to validate those things. After validation, as per the business transaction, what do you really wanted to do? You can actually either talk to Power Automate system, which will actually help you to do the Power Automate desktop system, which will help you to do the RPA process. And if you have directly handling with some APIs on other system, which in your system, you can deal with that also, either through call some APIs or otherwise traditional services like XML APIs, web services and all, you can use that way. Ultimately, what you are doing is you are making entire transaction end to end very, very straightforward handling by the systems, not much manual intervention. Here, one area which we see that supervisor app, what you are saying here, that's the point where we mentioned the system is doing review based on, you can put different rules, whatever documents comes in, you can do different rules in the system, and where you have a doubt, system might go wrong, you can actually tell some manual review. So how do we do that manual review more easily? we need to provide an interface, right? Somebody is doing a manual review. I need to understand, okay, which document it came, what it's extracted, what is the mistake as a system you see. If somebody is telling me all those things, right, I can actually do that very quickly. So if somebody telling me, what is the best way of telling me? Show me in an app, right? So if I wanted to do it, if I am getting a UI saying that these are the stuffs what you had, and this is what we are seeing, and are you okay with that? You can do an approval process, or you can actually give a UI where I can correct the stuffs what is coming. So to support that thing, you can actually get help of Power Apps, which is another component from Power Platform. Uh, and of course, there are a lot of data coming in. You need to store it somewhere. The better option is if you are dealing with Power Platform, you can store it in Dataverse. That is your database. So these all systems can talk to database and get the information. So Power Apps will give you an tool where you can actually deal with this data and deal with data how you are wanted to do. Take it further. If you want to do a review it, correction, and submit the back, you can get it. Similarly, of course, we are dealing with a lot of forms, lot of data and everything. Auditing is very important. Reporting is very important. Understanding. See, we are telling system to handle all those things. So we want to make a better reporting. Of course, use Power BI. So this is one of the structure which you can directly use in your organization to make document management very quickly. Now, here I use AI Builder. Does AI Builder help me for everything? AI Builder has any limitations? Yes, there are some limitations, and there are some features which it actually cannot handle. So let me tell you a scenario. AI Builder is always handled with the one form set. So as an example, you have an invoice. You tell it, okay, can you read this? It can read whatever content is coming. But if you have 10 invoices, which all sitting in a single document, is a multiple instances. If you ask AI Builder, it will take actually only the first one. It has some limitation like that. Similarly, you don't know what is customer is sending to me. You have to really clearly tell AI Builder, use this specific model. This is what customer is sending. It has little knowledge limitations. It cannot be simply like read everything and understand what is the document, all those things. We have to train it properly, and there is some limitation on its training also. In case if you are going out of your need with AI Builder, you cannot assume that by looking at AI Builder features, you think that okay, there are a lot of features, but some of them is not really aligned to my need. You can use one more tool called Document Intelligence Service. It's actually both are in using same engine. Even AI Builder built from this, AI Builder has its own extra advantage compared to this. But ultimately for OCR reading and all, the strong tool, if you really wanted to do better document management, you can deal with this Azure. So it has some additional models like classification model, one is an example, which is not there in AI Builder. If you wanted to classify, okay, I got a big document as the customer, he don't care what all I'm sending. He's sending everything, dump everything in a single document, send it to me. I want to classify, oh, see, this first 2 pages is related to this form. Then he sends some blank pages, then he put something else like that. I wanted to classify my entire document. If you want to do such things, you can use one model in Azure AI Document Intelligence is one of the models for classification model. So that is one very common requirement, most lot of scenarios. It's up to you, right? See, if you look at your organizations, whatever forms coming in, it's very organized in individual forms and all those things. You can still go to AI Builder. Otherwise, you can actually connect to AI Document Intelligence Service. Both has possibility for this architecture. So if you wanted to connect to Document Intelligence Studio, you can use Document Intelligence Studio connectors from Power Automate. Only difference here is AI Builder is running on your Power Platform. Document Intelligence Service is running on your Azure platform. So, and even licensing also different. Your calculation everything different according to the usage. AI Builder will calculate directly as part of your Power Platform credit. Then here, document intelligence, the bill will come as part of your Azure account usage. So I believe I could able to give high level view. If you wanted to implement such solution in your organization, hope you will be able to utilize these mechanisms, and every requirement is unique. You whatever you're doing, I'll not say it's wrong. You do your tailoring on this approach, but ultimately the message is, if you wanted to make automation in your organization, and this is the area which you can easily say that I can give you return on investment of your AI. So this is one general question is asking by any customer nowadays, right? They are asking, okay, see, I'm ready to invest on AI, but what is the return on investment? So this is straightforward requirement in most of the organization. Okay, not again, it's not limited to documents. You can use other AI services out of this. Now let's have a look on those. What all other things can be done with the services, and how this can be spin for you, and what all possibility with this, all those things. Let's come to some of the demo. Okay. Now, I talked about this as a whoever is listening to this, you can ask me. See, Sujit, it's very very common nowadays. You said that it's very common in any organization. Why Microsoft is not helping me to do this as a template, right? That is how all business works. See, all these companies are keenly watching what is general, what is generic things. If when they identify there is a generic item like that, they will make something for you so that you can start using that as a starting point for your work. So here we were talking about document intelligence or document management. Uh, Microsoft also noticed, okay, the document management is very common requirement across any organizations. So why can't I give you something and you can start building from on top of that? So for that you have one item called document automation. So if whoever is working in Power Platform, when you go there, you you see a link called AI Hub, of course, and AI Hub will help you to create different AI models, prompt models, and one more item you see document automation. If you click on that, you are getting a solution. Power Platform, of course, when we work with Power Platform, we deal with solutions, right? So solutions, nothing which will give you list of components related to that and their work, right? So if you click on that, you are getting a template from Microsoft, which will help you to do this task by yourself with a benchmark of solutions. So you don't need to do everything from scratch. Of course, nobody's telling you how to use it, but what I'm saying is, in case if you wanted to use it, if you use it, you will get a lot of templates of components, what I mentioned earlier. Just an example, you make an AI model, of course, that you have to do yourself, what model you want. You make it a model. Then second one is the automations, the Power Automate flows, which is helping you to read the content, take that stream through an AI model, collect the information out of it, store that information, give a feature for manual review. All those things will be coming as part of this document management studio. So document intelligence studio. So if you add that solution, document automation studio, it's called DAT. So if you add this toolkit in your system, if you install this toolkit, in your system, you will be getting these all tools by default. Okay. Again, it's a starting point. You can customize from there. It's up to you how you are going to utilize it. Right. So once you have that, these are the components in that solution. In document automation toolkit, if you install it, okay. So whoever is in Power Platform working is, it is very straightforward for you. There are some tables created by default. There are some connection reference. There is one app has been created to support your manual review. There is 3 flows to support your functionality. So ultimately, what is it doing is, if you send an email to your organization with attachment of document, this flow will read that email content, take it through the process of AI Builder, the model which you are saying, this is a model which I want to take it. You can settle that model, and you can actually configure the system to use that model, extract the content out of that document, and fill it for a manual review. Further, you can actually expand entire this flows. Okay, I'm not going to individually or how is this flow doing, but in a high level, this is what it is for doing is, right? So, showing a demo for you guys how we actually this is entirely working on it, right? So just for a quick demo, I create a model using some documents, especially some of my internet bills, which is going to read. So if I do a quick test of this, let me take. So model building, even I don't need to explain on here in this session. It will be very quick and easily for you, do by anybody. So you can refer how you do the model creation. Even within 5 or 10 minutes, you will understand how to do model. But if I am doing it here, it's actually killing my time. So assume that you created a model by selecting any of the AI templates which is provided by AI Builder or Document Intelligence Studio. We'll take to Document Intelligence Studios too. But if you make a model, see, this is reading my content, right? I can actually define a boundary from where it has to read. What is the tag I have to give for this data? Whatever is being read by this model should assign to customer ID. This data assigned to invoice date. This data assigned to due date. Like that, you can actually define your bill to read by the models. Same approach even when you are doing the Document Intelligence Studio also, same approach. So I will take you to there also, how we will handle the same thing in Document Intelligence Studio. Here, see, this is one of the, if you wanted to play with the Document Intelligence Studio for creating your model. So that is the first step, right? We need to create a model for us to read our content. So it is one of the services, as I mentioned in the Azure service. So it's part of AI service group. You will see Document Intelligence. You can create a service, and once you create a service, Microsoft will help you to take your studio. They have a lot of studios. Document Intelligence Studio is one of them. One of it, you can use that studio to start training your documents. So you can create your projects. This is how Document Intelligence Studio comes. It's similarly how AI Builder comes. The general common, lot of templates are there. If you're registering using document analysis, you can use any of this model. If you wanted to use pre-built model, you don't want to use any of the existing one. You know that, okay, this is matching to my need. I can utilize this existing model, whether it's invoice, receipt, anything. If you match any of this thing, you can utilize that one. And if you are not satisfied any of the model, you want to have a custom model, you can use any of this, either classification or extraction. It depends upon your need. If you want to use the classification, that is one unique feature I told, right? It is available in Document Intelligence Service, which is not there in AI Builder as classify the model. So in here, you can create a project which you wanted to handle with, and even you can actually share your project with different people. Once you the model ready, you can export, import, all those things can be done. If you wanted to move to a different environment, let's take to one project which I did for this POC. So yeah, so here you are getting an interface where you can actually define your entire model. So what I did was I added some mod, uploaded some pages, and saying that this page, specifically this page, used. This is one of my bill. I'm having act bill and I'm having geo bill. So I just say that this is consider whenever such document comes in this area, consider this as in this layout, consider this as an act bill. So I just created some grouping, act bill grouping, some custom form and geo bill. So if I take which one is geo bill? This one it's treated as the geo bill. Okay, so it is my geo bill. So when such documents comes, this model has to identify this is my this has to be considered as a bill which is related to geo grouping. Okay. Now, likewise, you can actually train your model. You can create multiple versions of your model. You can test it, how it is working, all those things you can be done. And once, for example, if I'm testing it, this is all testing process, but ultimately we are going to connect this to our Power Platform and see how it's going to work, right? So I just upload one document, and if I say that do the analysis of this, it will identify, okay, this document is a specific one. Even I can do a combination of multiple document, which will help me. So one page 1 and 2 is considering as big. So in result also giving us a JSON. Of course, we will be able to read the JSON through Power Automate to understand what's happening. So that's ultimately this is the activity. What you need to do if in front of the customer, if you get such kind of thing, he gave me all these things. You can do this model generation and all very quick time, and you can create either model in document intelligence service or you can do in AI builder. It depends upon your need. Okay, it depends upon your requirement, which product is suitable for you. Use that. After the model creation, next thing we need to connect this model, right? So that is next part of it. So I'm coming back to AI builder. Before that, just want to tell one simple, show you one simple stuff how AI can hallucinate something. So let me take a bill, which is I'm uploading one bill, assuming that my model could read it properly. So I'm uploading in AI builder. Okay, this is one of my child bill. So it's just a, but I did some scribbling of the content. If you notice, right? So I'm just making it a little bit, right. So right, but here 960. If if I am dealing with manually this form, I understand amount is 960 and 320 is being scribbled. But see what has been read by AI builder. It's 3960. So see, I want to tell that everything I'll say, okay, this is nice and all this is POC and your functionality for a demo, everything is okay. But be careful. We are not in a situation till we cannot 100% believe AI. Okay, there will be some situations, such kind of things. So this is one of the example. So in such situation, we need manual intervention, right? Some scenarios where it is getting confused about the value which is coming out. So look at this confidence score. It's only 58%. It doesn't know. It is not sure about it 100%. So confidence score is one of the important factors which you need to consider while you're dealing with AI builder or document intelligence services. So you look at that confidence score. If it is specifically less than some numbers, you have to take it to the manual review. Okay. Right. So let's assume the model has been created. Now, what is next? I installed that tool, so which will help me to set up that entire infrastructure or entire setup for the architecture which I'm talking about, where it is reading from you email and start processing it. Okay, so this model, this service is being given me as I shown. There is an app is been given. So I'm giving this app to the end users, whomever wanted to do a manual review processing and all. They are supposed to reach to this app and do the reviews. So if I send an because this is app, ultimately they are going to see as an end user. This is just a vanilla app created by Microsoft that template. You can change whatever way you want. Okay, it's just a power app. You, if you wanted to do any if you are already knows the power apps work, you are free to change this. You can make a copy of it, do whatever changes you want. So in this app, what Microsoft is given as a template, you can actually configure which model you wanted to use. So it will show all the models which is available. So I use one of the sample model which I just quickly created today morning, invoice processing model, and select that one for the purpose of our verification. So I connected, say that use this, and I send an email. Okay, when I send an email, I can really send one more for the purpose of testing. Okay, I'm sending it parallelly. We'll talk about this. Right. So I'm sending to one email box where I is attached one with the one bill. With me, I'm sending an email. So once it's sent an email, what I told, we will be collecting this information from that the kind of trigger point which we defined, right? We defined a triggering point for this Power Automate from the email. Here in this DAT tool, sending just give me some name. I'm sending from email with some attachment. I'm not sharing it. Okay, it's just assume that. Okay, I'm sending it. It will come into my email boxes that I can show here. If I get an email, obviously. So if I get an email here on this email box, so I see I got an email now. Sample sending 11:47, something like that, with some attachment, all those things. Ideally, my system is supposed to start run that, extract that information, and see it collected. It's not come by this app. It basically behind the scene what happened. My Power Automation ran and it picked that attachment, taken that. Now it's what is it doing? It's extracting the data. You can see the status will get changed. It's extracting the data and see which data elements it will use for extracting data. What it will do, it use that AI model. Just remember, recollect our architecture, what we told. Once it's get the data, stream is sending to the AI model or the document in studio to read the data. Now it is processing that thing. So once it's having that extraction happen, it will do a validations, basic validation, confidence scores and all. If there is a requirement to have a manual validation, it will be sending for manual validation also. So it's doing this work. Let it do. So meanwhile, let me take one document which is already been validated earlier. So if I'm clicking on it, this is taking me to the document. It's a geo bill, and it is read some field, and it has some showing 80%, 17%. It read some table also, what all content on this bill, all those things. So I am free to change this values and everything, whatever I want, and I can update it back. So this much feature is being provided by this tool itself without doing anything. What you did, just install that solution. It is ready for you, right? So see, now it's come for manual preview. This also. That means still that model is not able to find out everything, and it's not able to cross my gate. That's why it is putting in manual review. Otherwise, if it is already satisfied with all the validations, it directly go to the next stage, right? So it's come here. Let me see now as an reviewer, I am reaching here. See, okay, this document, Act document came. This model is read something. but still it is not able to read properly everything. So some tables are, some data is missing. Oh, I understand this data is this one. I read from here this document because I am human. I am better than A, so I can read it. I just put it here. Whatever felt okay. This is different, and my name is also. It has it's saying that okay. I am still not confident it is your name. Okay, I understand his correct name. Whatever I read from this document, it is correct only. I said, yeah, okay, do validation, go to the next document. So as a supervisor and manual reviewer, I can use this tool to do this such kind of manual evaluation. Okay, so it's so simple as it is. What we did a model creation, whatever document this customer is using, either an AI builder or document intelligence service. Document intelligence service always dealing with the Power Automate. I'll show you guys. But let's assume AI builder. I read use AI builder. Take some document, trained model. My model is ready. Going back, my Power Automate. Then I saw there is a tool, document automation toolkit. Install it. It has given this app for me. It has given a Power Automate, 3 Power Automate. In Power Automate, I went there and configure my email ID instead of no, while it's okay, just show that too. When we install it, of course, it is asking me which email is it. This one will ask which email you wanted to connect to handle this process. So I can give the email of customers. This is the email box which we need to read. And if you want to have some modification on your validation or this process, of course you have a no-code, low-code tool, Power Automate, which is been the backbone of this. You know that how that tool works. You do some kind of modification, whatever way you want. This is what is out of the box created. I didn't do any single changes other than the email address change connection. I just put the connection which email box it has to connect. So I use that alone. So this is what it is reading, and it's in what is the it's in managed solution. So if you want to do a modification further on this Power Automate, you can actually do a modification, make a copy of it, stop this one Power Automate instead you run your own, and you can do from there itself. So that's what I did. Very simple with that. So ultimately, when it comes to your case, unique case, you have your own changes in the automation process. And after maybe the validation, you might be calling one of your system, passing this data, doing some activity. All such things will be there. This all can be accommodated. So ultimately, what we are telling is this very common use cases in any organization. You can do it very quickly as part of your process. Right now, coming back, if we are doing it in document intelligence studio, what is the process? Right. So if you have a document intelligence studio, let me show that thing. I created some sample for you guys to do the same thing. So I have an Power Automate, which is calling my document intelligence studio, otherwise Azure AI Document Intelligence service. Right? I want to utilize that service and start processing it, right? Instead of using AI Builder. So AI Builder also you can easily attach to your Power Automate, but here you don't have any template, by the way, you have to do it yourself. But I did the model. That's the first thing which I did. And after that, I have to create a connector. Okay, so if while you're creating the connector, definitely you have to give some information about your intelligence service, that is specifically its keys and which region it is. So that information you have to provide while you are creating the connection reference to it. Once you have that connection reference ready, so see, this is the connection which you need to use, form organizer. So if you look at the connection detail, there will be some information which you're supposed to pass. Okay, key names and all that information you will be getting in your document intelligence. Okay, in your service. I'm not sharing the exact keys. Okay, but that will be available for you once you create a document intelligence service. In left side, if you go to keys, you will be able to see what is your key, what's the URL, all those information available. Sure. Okay. So this is my document intelligence studio. You have keys here. You have location here, you have URLs here. Take this one. This is required while you are connecting to your automation. Okay. So once you did that connection, now you can use the connectors. So one connector which I use is classifying the document classifier. There I mentioned what is the name of my model, what's the URL. Here URL is nothing, the document which you wanted to deal with this. Here you can pass a real URL of SharePoint or something like that. Otherwise, you can really pass a stream. Okay, it's not required. It should be. You can directly pass the document, or you can pass the image URL. So what I pass image URL from my GitHub location. Read this and understand what is this document all about. Like that, I was telling the system, and it is going to help me to do that. So if I trigger this, ideally you can trigger in different way. Right? Here, this automation I created manual trigger to just cross verify how it is working. So I'm triggering it, and what it will do, it will go and look at that document and read the document and classify the information from that document. So that's what it's doing. I'm doing the run workflow over here. It's identifying which document it is and going to call my document intelligence AI service now and read the sending the document over there, read the document, give me the content. So if I look at the output of this, you can see the document has been read and it is saying that these are the documents. If there is an active on it, page number 1, page number 2, page number, no, it's only, this is my confidence score, 99%. Another activity also there. That's why I said multiple instance of same bill. It's cross paying, right? So sample is actually having multiple activity. So second one, third one. So 3 active bill is been added. So you can have multiple. Okay, it's not only one bill. You can have combination of multiple bills. It will identify as per your training. It will identify that. So now we have JSON in Power Automate. You can deal with JSON. You know how to handle it further. So you have a lot of things can be done from further onwards. So that's it. Basically, how you can manage with the Document Intelligence Studio or Document Services or AI Builder in your application. Right? So with that said, I hope this will help you to deal with your customer, deal with your organization. Very, very common use case. And you can give an assurance saying that, see, I can give you return on investment. You can actually reduce the resources who is handling such things. You can actually automate your process. You can get proper reporting. So all this come as a return on investment by using this tool. There is some licensing cost when you compare the versus manual effort versus the licensing cost. License cost is cheaper, and you can actually manage a lot of things very quickly. And it's very common automations in any organization. Hope this will help you to deal such kind of automation in your organization, and you can shine in front of your group manager or your customer and deal with it. Hope this session help you to think about that and utilize in your organization. Having said that, thank you all. If you wanted to connect with me and having some creative discussion, scan it and we can talk further. Thank you very much for your time listening to me.
Thank you, folks. Thanks you all. Thanks, Sujat. I'll be ending the stream now. If you have any questions, please reach out to Sujat. Thanks all again for joining us.
Thank you very much.